Time it worked. All right. I don't know what's going on. Facebook is struggling today. Or not Facebook. What am I on? YouTube is struggling today. Let's go post the link on our website, jollyrogerukulele.com, and we will get to playing some music here. Let me post this here. Click, space, Control V, Shift, highlight, link, enter, edit, settings, open a new window, update. Anyway, yeah, our website's jollyrogerukulele.com. That's where you find all the sheet music for today's activity. Today, we are going to be playing my key of F arpeggio, getting comfy with all of the chords in the key of F. And then we also have For Elise and Ode to Joy as our next level activities. And so mostly hard music that we're playing today. And hey, Vic. Hi from sunny Eugene. Sunny Eugene. Sounding good. All right. It's sunny in Eugene. Eugene's supposed to be rainy. So I don't know what's going on. I was at the dermatologist the other day, and I've got the light set where it really emphasizes the pockmarked face of mine. And the morning sun is finally up out of the way, so it's less weird lighting. So welcome in everybody. Hey Donna, sunny Lakewood. I know I haven't actually stepped outside yet, but it looks beautiful out there. It's supposed to be about 50 degrees today, so I will take that. By the way, got some raspberries that taste delicious. I don't know. This is what I don't understand. This is not a time for fruit, right? So how in the world am I getting these delicious raspberries? I don't understand how anything works anymore. Look at my smile. Vic, stop it. Oh, stop it. Hey, Melissa, welcome in. Today we have all hard music. I apologize, I'm running a little behind. YouTube's doing its thing today. When we first started these, it seemed like every day or every other day we're having really huge fights with getting some part of YouTube to operate correctly. And it's kind of today it's been back to its old bad habit. We had in the first class today, just all of a sudden the sound just stopped, just went wonky for no reason whatsoever. Everything was fine, and then the sound went bad. So we had to restart that class. And then just now it would not let me log in. It just was not having me. So let's feel excited and happy that we're all here. YouTube is fighting against our plan to dominate the world. I don't know, Melissa. I don't know. King Supers. That's all I know. I have not become a conscious consumer when it comes to grocery store. I go in, whatever they have, that's what I buy. I do tend to buy organic stuff. I think that's important if they have it, but if they don't, I don't lose too much sleep over it. Hey, Nancy, welcome in. Beautiful Florida. Florida's sunny every day, I think. I was in Florida one time for 8 days, and it rained like I was in the shower for 8 straight days. That's my total memory of Florida, is it that I don't really understand what real rain. Growing up in the West, you think, oh, I like rain. We don't have any idea what real rain looks like. I can tell you, after being in Florida, I couldn't even believe it. Like all day long for 8 days in a row, just like the shower was turned on. Unbelievable. Yeah, it doesn't seem right, does it? That you're like middle of winter, let's have nice fruit. Okay. That's probably coming from South America, I assume. I don't know. I don't know how they do it. Maybe hot houses. I think raspberries grow in hot houses. Um, is it raining down there some more, Nancy? I noticed you guys have been getting all of the about every other day some other tropical storm rolling through. You're used to it down there, but it's still a lot. Hey, Valerie. Yeah, with my new schedule, I can't go to Starbucks in the morning anymore. I'd have to get up at 5 o'clock, and that ain't happening. So I'm down to eating raspberries. I'm gonna have to figure that out. Maybe I'll start making it in the refrigerator myself. I used to work there, Starbucks, and I'll tell you, it's a great company. And clear up until you get into management, and then it's like every other company, and it's a misery. And um, the only thing I miss about it is the healthcare and a free pound of coffee every week. Um, but yeah, it. I still enjoy that process of going to the coffee shop and getting a cup of coffee and bringing it home. It's just one of those things that feels like life's going to be okay as long as you can do that. All right. Well, life's going to hopefully be okay anyway, right? Let's play some music today. We are going to play 3 hard songs today, and so let's get our game face on, and we'll talk about surviving these kind of mean little songs that we have gotten involved with here, and we'll talk about sort of the skill set that we want to have behind that. So I want you to grab your key of our F arpeggio first, and we'll talk about we've talked about it in previous classes, but I think it bears repeating why we do arpeggios, what they're good for, what they're not good for. And of the arpeggios that we teach at this level, F major is by far the most difficult, and it leads us into a more complicated discussion about the difference between being instrumental player and being an acoustic, just a ukulele player backing up yourself as a singer. And so, yeah, so that's what we'll be working on. Hey, Lynn, welcome in. Hey, Q. Yeah, here I am. I'm a hit, right? So I'm leaving it up there for one day, and then I got to find somewhere to put it. But it's kind of cool. It's really nice, and it's funny because obviously the people in our orchestra were behind getting that whole thing set up, which is super fun. And then one of the things I noticed usually when they interview these guys and they have them on TV, you're like, holy Moses, these people are really, really kind and caring and helpful, and to be included in that group is very humbling. So now let's focus in on making your life miserable. That's what I'm here for. This key of F major arpeggio. What we're doing when we're doing, leave it up for 2 weeks. Q, that's an oddly specific amount of time. That's funny. Melissa, you're sweet. Thank you. Let's talk. Don't make me cry, people. You know I'm a big crybaby. We got to focus in on this, okay? Here's what we're doing. When you are playing, when we get a ukulele, you're like, all right, I want to play Somewhere Over a Rainbow. The first thing they teach you is C chord and strum, right? And there's nothing wrong with that. We all have to do that. It's lovely. But when we take an arpeggio, we're taking the elements of the chord as they are presented on the ukulele, and we're playing them in a pattern, right? And so it's the same thing. It's just a chord. But it is, instead of everybody happening at the same time, we break them into little pieces, okay? And so if you're playing them on a piano, you might do an F chord would be F, and then A, and then C, F, A, C, and then maybe back, A, right? F, A, C, A, F, A, C, A. Or if you are playing piano a little while, then they teach you first inversion, which would be A, C, F, okay? And then you usually play them with these fingers. And then they teach you second inversion, which is C, F, A. And so it's all an F chord. It's just broken into its pieces. And that's what we do with arpeggios as well. Now, the reason we want to get good at arpeggios, there's 2 reasons. One, if you're a singer and you are singing somewhere, it sounds fine. If you sing somewhere, it sounds much more sophisticated. You haven't changed anything about what you're doing over here. You've just been taking a different approach with your right hand, and it ends up usually being to your benefit. Okay, so that's one reason to learn arpeggio picking, is if you like to sing, you'll sound a whole lot more sophisticated with instantaneously by getting control of your right hand. More importantly, as instrumental players, we are continuously needing to do fills and decorative notes and adding in little this and that into places where there's no music going on. So if you hit a whole note, in this case, let's say you hit this whole note, 2, 3, 4, it's a little boring as an instrumentalist. But if you get that's your melody note, and then you back it up with a couple of a few extra little pretty notes in there based on the chord, you're going to sound a lot more sophisticated, and there's not going to be moments of where your ukulele stops ringing and you're just busy doing your counting, waiting for the next thing to come in. And so there, I mean, in my mind, when I'm thinking about, hey, what are the important things to really know how to do on this instrument? The top of the list, far and away, is learning to play melody. Okay, learning how to read a piece of tablature and getting the melody to come out of the ukulele, and then immediately thereafter, playing arpeggio patterns, I think, is the second most important thing that you can do as an instrumentalist to get where you sound really nice. And I am almost in. By the way, I thought that I had the autofocus turned off, but clearly not, because it's like, where are you? What are you doing? So I'm going to sit back a little bit and try to get it where it stops fading in and out. What the vast majority of ukulele players don't ever do anything with arpeggio playing, and it's kind of disappointing, because if you look at professional players, they're using it like crazy. This is one of the things that absolutely comes up. Every classical guitar player, they live in this position because they're so busy plucking out arpeggios, and it's this way of sounding very high level, very professional, and not really necessarily being any that much harder. We just got to continue to teach this right hand some stuff. So let's walk through this piece of music. This is by far, of the three that I teach on the intro level, the key of C, the key of G, and the key of F. The F is by far the hardest. And so let's go through and just make sure we know what we're going to be doing here. So you're going to grab this F chord, and you're going to plunk all of those together, plunk, and then you're going to do thumb, index, middle. Okay, so the way you know it's an arpeggio is you look through there and you're like, oh, yep, and you look right down the tablature, no doubt about it. All of those notes are in a pattern, and so let's just make that a pattern. Just do that, okay? So that's your first measure, is clunk, and then thumb, index, middle, and then you do a couple of half notes, plunk, plunk. Now we're going to do a new chord, a D minor, plunk, thumb, index, middle, plunk, plunk. Going to switch to a B flat. Don't worry about it. If your B flat sounds like that, just live with it. It's not a problem. It will go away. One day it'll be fixed. Was it Fran that fixed it the other day? I think it was Fran. She was like, "Yep, I finally got my B flat to sound out correctly," and we all cheered, right? Because we all know B flat's hard. Just let it be what it is. As long as you're doing it correctly, you got a bar on one, and then the A shape up on 2 and 3. Okay, just like that. So a lot of people will just do a half bar for B flat. I try to teach you guys to do a full bar, because you're going to be doing lots of bars. You might as well just get this one to be a bar as well. Okay, grab that, B flat, plunk, then thumb, index, middle, a couple more B flats, and then now don't pick this up, slide it up, okay, to the 3rd fret. It's the same shape on the 3rd fret, bar on 3, A shape in front, pluck that, thumb, index, middle, and then a couple more. Okay. Now I want to just talk about how cool this is. This is what this is sophisticated playing. If you weren't doing an arpeggio pattern, here's what you'd be playing. Okay, that's what normal ukulele players do. Nothing wrong with that, but it isn't at the same level in terms of musical sophistication as there's a whole bunch more music going on there. We've done exactly the same chords, exactly the same, but we've done a whole bunch more smart stuff with this right hand, and that's the difference between somebody using this as accompaniment for singing and just as a background, sort of get the right chord neighborhood, versus somebody who's bringing in an instrumental approach to playing music, and that's what we want to do. Okay, just make it as sophisticated as we can and still keep it playable. Okay, let's go to measure 9. You got your F chord again. Now you have a different pattern though, right? So it's going to go middle, index, thumb, and then a couple of Fs. Put your D minor on, plunk, middle, index, thumb, a couple more. B flat, middle index thumb, a couple more, slide up, C chord, middle index thumb, a couple of C chords. Okay, so far all that makes sense, more or less. Okay, we don't like the B flat necessarily, but it is what it is. And if you end up playing, that's fine. Don't worry about it. Your bar will eventually come in. It will, I promise. Okay, measure 17. Now things look really messy. If you look at the tab, you're like, oh gosh, what am I doing? But it's not terrible. Okay, so you're going to take it and make your D minor on 5. Okay, so there's a bar here and your ring finger here. Now, most ukulele players will never ever discover that there's a B minor there, D minor here, because they only know this D minor, right? And that's fine. It's a lovely D minor. It's one of the great chords on ukulele. But right here on 5 with the bar and then your A minor shape on, it turns it into a D minor. Okay, and we're going to pluck that 4 times. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now take your middle finger, add it onto the 2nd string on the 5th fret, right there. Okay, and then pluck that 4 times. Now just lift up your middle finger a little bit and play the next 4. Measure 20, just put your middle finger right back down. Okay, this is also a B flat, right? And here's your D minor again. One more B flat. And then we go on to page 2, and you're going to slide back. Don't lift up, just slide back, and then move your middle finger up 1 string. Play your C chord. Okay, and that's it. And that's the hard part. Okay, now when you get to the end of that, you'll see your glissandos are sitting there, so you know you're going to have to use your thumb. So you move to your F chord, and then your thumb drops. Okay, after that, measure 25. We got a little bit of melody. And then a nice glissando at 28. Some more melody. And then notice this, 3, 2, 1, 1. That's really just a B flat. So if you grab your B flat, 3, 2, 1, whoops, 3, 2, 1, 1, you get that nice, without doing any extra work, you just grab the B flat and you can just play straight down, and it's a little bit easier, maybe. And then a nice C7. And then at measure 32, this is actually surprisingly hard after you're playing with your thumb. You got to get back into your claw and hit these 4 times. 1, 2, 3, 4. Measure 32, there's a repeat there at the end of that. You see the double bar with the 2 dots, send you all the way back to the top of the song. Okay, so we're going to do that now. And then when you get to the second time you come through, we're just going to blast right on into measure 33. And let's play 201. So it's really with your F chord on, it's thumb, index, middle, index, and then go to your F chord again. Yeah, thumb, index, middle, index. Measure 35, you put your D minor chord on. Thumb, index, middle, index, thumb, index, middle, index. Measure 37, you got your B flat, thumb, index, middle, index, thumb, index, middle, index. Measure 39, you got 4 zeros in a row. And it's better if you hold the C chord. I got lazy there, sorry. And then now we have all of our main chords all in a row. F chord, D minor, B flat, C chord, F. Okay, and here's what's fun about music theory. Listen to those 4 chords in a row. Heard that song before, right? You've heard that song and a million different versions of that. That's what we call the principal chords in the key. F is the main chord. D minor is its relative minor. B flat is its 4th or its subdominant, and then the C is the dominant. That 4 chord pattern is all over in music. All folk music pretty much follows that pattern. Most classical music follows that pattern. So you're going to see lots and lots of this as we go along. And we'll be talking about over here on the board, how do we talk about which chords go together and why. And so over the next year or so, we'll be talking about that. Hey, Linda, welcome in. Glad you're here. All right. So what I want to do, we're not going to do the repeat this time. We're just going to play top to bottom. Okay, I'm going to go as slow as I can. We had a discussion earlier about, hey, it says quarter note equals 140. What does that mean? When you're a solo player, I don't think you need to worry about what that means at all. I think you play it at whatever speed you can play it at. 140 means faster than normal, is usually, but normal is somewhere between 100 and 120. So 140 means, hey, let's play this a little bit fast. But I would ignore it if I'm a solo player. I'm going to play it at whatever speed I can play it to make it sound good. If we're playing together as a group, then that matters. But if we're playing on our own, pick a speed and go with it. Now, you're playing with me. We're an ensemble. You and I are playing a duet. So you have to deal with whatever speed I pick. Okay, that's and I never pick full speed. I almost never. Okay, so we'll be fine. Grab your F chord, nice and slow. 1, 2, 3, 4. Plunk, thumb, index, middle, plunk, 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 thumb, index, middle, plunk, 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 thumb, index, middle, plunk, plunk, slide up, plunk, middle, index, middle, plunk, plunk, measure 9, plunk, middle, index, thumb, plunk, plunk, D minor, plunk, middle, index, thumb, plunk, plunk, B flat, plunk, middle, index, thumb, plunk, plunk, slide up, plunk, middle, index, thumb, plunk, plunk, slide up to 5, lose your middle finger, plunk, 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 add your middle finger, plunk, plunk, take it off, put it on, take it off, put it on, slide back, move it up 1 string, measure 24, glissando. Some melody. Back to your plucking. Now, we would normally repeat and play that whole page. On Friday, we will. And in your Friday concert, we'll repeat there. And then let's just continue moving on into 33. You're still holding your F chord. Play. Thumb, index, middle, index, thumb, index, middle, index, D minor, thumb, index, middle, index, thumb, index, middle, index, B flat, thumb, index, middle, index, thumb, index, middle, index, open, 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 F, D minor, B flat, C, F. Let it ring out, and you're done. Okay, so on Friday we'll play through that whole thing again. We will do the repeat, and I would say when you're getting ready every day to do your warm-ups and you're thinking, all right, I want to get my hands in good shape, I would start every single day with that. Make a better bar worksheet to build up the hand strength in my thumb, right? Like we do every Friday, we play that and make a better bar worksheet. And then the next thing I would do is pick an arpeggio. If you have not downloaded the complete book, please do that. There's 30 arpeggios. They're in every single key, every single chord, every single position, all over the fretboard. It is a fine piece of it is a fine document to have into your ukulele world. And each day, just pick a one. You don't have to get good at them. I don't think being great at arpeggios at the songs in that book is important. But I do know the first 10 on the suggested learning sequence are real keys that you will really play in your ukulele life. And I have our local orchestra here. I have them play the first 10 every single semester. So every semester we start off, we play all through the 10. When we get done with the 10, it's about time to have the concert. So then we don't play them. Then back in January or September or whenever we get back together, we just start over. We play them all again. The idea there is not to be saying, oh, these are that important. What they are is teaching you all of the different ways to hold your chords and to play in different variations on your right hand. And so I think I wrote it during my, I hit a home run with that book. Basically, every one of those songs is really, really solid. And I've written a lot of really crappy songs as well, cruddy songs. And but the ones in that book are really useful to make you a great ukulele player. So take some time to go download that book and work your way through it. And Vic says it's great. Yeah, thanks, Vic. It is a great book. It is, and it's free, and you can have it. And there's sound files all sitting on the website and all that stuff. So don't hesitate to go get involved with the Arpeggio book. Okay, next is When I'm Dead. That book is still going to be floating around, and in 200 years, when they're looking back at the history of ukulele, they're going to be looking at that book, going, that was a pretty good book, and they won't know nobody except that they won't realize how limited the number of people who really dug into it are. But that doesn't matter. I don't worry about the right people dig into that book, and that's you guys. Okay, so that's it. That's your song of the day. Those of you who are newer know that that's hard stuff, right? That's stuff that you can't just sit down and play that stuff. That stuff takes a lot of patience and time. Let the music come to you. Let the learning and experience come to you. Come back and check the recordings of this video so that you have a chance to double check that everything is exactly that it's starting to make sense for you. Okay, so we are at the end of the introductory material for ukulele. So in other words, in October, we started with Frere Jacques, remember? 0, 2, 4, 0, 0, 2, 4, 0. And now you are up here playing, B flat on the 5th fret with a specific arrangement of your right hand. It's crazy how far you've come. And if not everything is making perfect sense to you yet, just be patient. It's going to. As we switch over into Christmas music over the next few weeks, you'll see where you're at. And then in January, of course, we repeat that whole process of going through this introductory phase. And I get people a little bit tiny frustrated about how fast the first 6 weeks go, but you're not supposed to be able to play everything in 6 weeks, right? You take it, make sure you have everything in your book, make sure you've been through all of the lessons, and then usually it makes sense to take the introductory class again and go through those 6 weeks, because then it's all review and you're like, oh yeah, I remember when we talked about this, and it's much easier the second time through. The first time through can be a little bit like it can be a lot overwhelming. So hopefully that's going fine. Hopefully you're bringing the right attitude about it. Okay, now on to book 2. Let's go grab For Elise. It's the easier of the two, so go grab For Elise, and let's see how that comes out. They updated my little gadget here, and most of my music got moved. So, all right. For Elise, the first thing you'll notice, there's no chords on here. And the reason there's no chords on here is so that you can take a look at the tough uke line and start to figure out if you can figure those chords out. And you can, okay, because they're not too hard. A couple of them are hard. Okay. Measure 2, you have 2, 0, 0. That's an A minor, right? Okay. Measure 3, 1, 2, 0, 2. That is an E7. Okay. And those chords repeat. At measure 10, you have 0, 0, 0, 7. That's actually a C chord. And at measure 11, you have a G chord with your pinky. So 0, 2, 3, 5. That's this chord. G chord with your pinky. Okay. And that's it. That's all your chords in the whole entire song. Okay. So there's technically only 4 chords, and one of them is iffy if it's a real chord or not. Q asks, actually need to hang on to it. That's what my wife said. She says, you're going to hang that on the wall behind you. I said, no, I'm not. No, yeah, we'll put it up somewhere, but not there. That's crazy. Yeah, it's very very. Stop it. It's cute. Molly Hendrickson signed it. I've been watching her on TV since she was a kid, right? Like I don't know, she still seems like a kid. And then here she was. I'm like, hey, I feel like you're my daughter. All right. And she's like, I've never met you, weird old guy. All right. 76767753. Okay, so let's do that. Let's do that a few times. It comes up over and over, as you know. The next chord always after 76767753 is going to be an A minor every single time. So you don't have to worry about taking your eye off the paper to make because you want to make sure you're looking at your fingers, getting those positioned properly, so that then when you hit the A minor, then you can look up and you know that you're going to be fine. Okay, so let's do that. 7-6. So I'm using my pinky and my ring, and then you got 7-7. Now, probably the smart thing to do here is to just move your pinky up to grab the other 7 on the second string. However, I'm going to give you another suggestion. That 7 there is the same as a 2 on the first string. Okay, so you could, instead of playing the 7, play the 2 on the first string. And probably at some point, if I ever move this, redo this piece of sheet music, I'm probably going to put it as a 2 on the first string. So I get 7, 6, 7, 6, 7, 2, 5, 3, 2, 2, 3, and then the strum. Okay, so think about which is going to be the easiest for you. If it's just bunny hopping to the other 7 like it says on the paper, okay, that may be the easiest. You may also find it easier to go 7, 6, 7, 6, 7, index finger 2, 5, 3, strum. Either way is fine. As I look at it more and more, and then the 2 7s seem like it makes a lot of sense in theory, but it's not that far to reach to 2 as well. So I'm not sure what the best choice is for you. All right, from the top, let's just do that. Let's just go through it real slow, and then we'll play it through all the way. Okay, so from the top, 7, 6, 7, 6, 7, 7, 5, 3, A minor strum. Then hit your zeros. These are right out of Spaghetti Monster. E7, 1, 2, 0, 2. Pinky on the 4. Make sure you use a pinky. Don't use any other finger or you'll be out of position. And then slide. These 2 fingers are already down, so just slide them forward. And then you have 2, 0, 0, 3. Here's your 7s again. Another A minor. 3, 2, A minor. Okay, now go grab your 7, 6, and we're going to go back to the top of the page. Pinky. Remember to go to measure 9 there. For measure 8 was for the first time through. Measure 9 is the second time through. Go with your index finger on 2, middle finger on 3, pinky on 5, slide up to 7, and then strum. Index finger grabs these 2 3s. Pinky finger slides up to the 8, and then ring finger on 7. And then jump back to grab your G chord and add your pinky. Hit the 1, 3, 3. Then pinky on 7. 2003. 5-3 with pinky on 5. And a nice E7 here. And then we go back to the same idea that we started the song with. Just remember, measure 21 is quarter notes instead of eighth notes, so it feels really slow when you get there. Bum, 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 blum. And Lynn says, "Hey, I need to put in a little bit more time on this one." Yeah, I do too, right? The thing to remember too, some of you guys probably had piano lessons as kids, and this is one of the tunes you played on piano. It's da 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 da. You try to get these fingers really fast. I don't think you want to play this arrangement on ukulele really fast. I think you want to take your time. You're trying to get it beautiful, smooth, I think is the real key here. It's all eighth notes except for one note in measure 8 and then the wrap up in 21 and 22. It's all eighth notes. So speed is less important than just plodding along and making sure you get all of the notes in at the right time. The big thing is take advantage of your chord shapes. You've got this A minor chord shape, this E7 chord shape, and the G chord shape with your pinky. All of those are really going to turn out to be super helpful in making it where you can pull this off in a reasonable way. Okay, so let's go to the top one last time through. We'll play the whole song as written, do the repeated 8, go back up and do it again. How was that chord again on 16? Oh yeah, so it's just E7, index finger on top, middle finger here, ring finger on the bottom. Yep, that is E7. Guys, I will be honest with you. When I first met E7, I was like, I don't think I like this very much. But when I figured out this is pretty, it's just index on top, middle finger, ring finger. I mean, it's not a hard chord to put on. It really isn't. And here's what's really interesting about this chord. We're going to be using this in this shape as F7, G7, and A7. We're going to be using that shape a lot. So don't get where you're like, I hate E7, okay? Because this shape is going to turn out to be really, really handy for other songs that we play when we end up with the melodies going further up the fretboard. That 7th shape ends up being one of the more valuable ones that you'll be using. So yeah, it's a tiny bit of a first time. Okay. Remember the little booklet that we started with on week 2 with the A, D, and E7 in there, where we had, On Top of Spaghetti and I've Been Working on the Railroad and all those songs. One of the chords that we worked on there was E7. So it's been in your repertoire for the whole time. Maybe not spending enough time with it, but it is a good chord, and it is going to come through for you as a tool that's useful for not just this song, but lots of the songs. Okay, we'll go through the whole thing as written, nice and slow. 1, 2. To the top. second ending. Okay, and patience with yourself. Okay, you are playing Beethoven on an instrument that is not really generally regarded as a classical music producing instrument. It is a classical music producing instrument, and we're changing that by playing using it to play songs like this. But take your time. If that was too fast, slow it down. Okay, but consistency through this bum 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 bum, or if you can play it faster, ba da ba da ba ba bum ba ba da 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 ba da 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 ba da. Right, and so, but you don't play fast just on accident. You have to start slow. If you can play it slow, you can probably play it fast. But if you can't play it fast, you got to slow down. And I would much rather you be playing really slow and being successful getting to the end of the page than being fast and having every 2-3 majors have to stop and rethink about where you are. Okay, so that's a nice piece of music. Everybody who's ever had a piano has had to play that probably, and it's great to be able to play it on ukulele. It's kind of nice. All right, it works out pretty well. All right, Linda says, so glad I watched all your other lessons because you can almost keep up. Yes. You watched them all, Linda? Oh, you poor thing. Linda's like, I am so sick of Gary, I want to stab him, right? Really delightful. Yeah, take your time on that one. That's advanced stuff. This is book 2 stuff. This is not how ukulele players play, right? This is high level, sophisticated, a little bit hoity-toity playing Beethoven. And yeah, if you're on piano, it's a beginner song because it's pretty easy on piano. It's not easy at all on ukulele. So give yourself some credit and some slack and let things come to you at a pace that makes sense. And yeah, so there's that. Now let's go to the next level. Let's go to the top, shall we? Let's grab Ode to Joy, and then we're out of time. Let me tell you about Ode to Joy. Okay, tomorrow we will tackle it as well. Tomorrow, remind me not to spend so much time on For Elise, and we will spend a little bit more time on Ode to Joy. But you'll want to be able to play Ode to Joy by Friday because Ode to Joy. With Ode to Joy, here's the thing: if you're playing just melody, play the top note on tough uke. I'm just playing the top note on tough uke. Okay. If you're like, yep, I got that, no problem. Now I'm going to play the tough uke line. Okay, that's tough uke. And then, of course, if you are all that and you're like, yep, I totally can do that, that makes it sounding like Ode to Joy, then you go through and you switch from thumb to claw, and on the painful uke section, do that. Okay, so you're doing something on every single eighth note, and you have to have that claw positioning. And guys, if you are newer, that is not really meant for you. Okay, that's definitely the highest level that we get to in fretted instrument play when we're taking the chords, the melody, we're adding in an arpeggio in there as well. So that's the whole kitchen sink. Painful uke is the kitchen sink. It's everything, and so it's not really meant for newer players. But if you're getting this, if it's all kind of what the heck, give it a try, see how it goes. Let's see. And then I got a couple other notes here. Nancy said, what piece of music is For Elise from? Oh, For Elise, oddly, For Elise is they found it in when Beethoven died, they found it in his papers, and they think he wrote it for a student of his. They think they wrote it early in his career, and he never published it. It was just a piece that was in his stuff. And so there was question about whether he even wrote it at all. If he wrote it, which he probably did, he wrote it as a younger composer. It's not his level of sophisticated music that he wrote later in his life. And because it was For Elise, nobody knows exactly who Elise is, but there's speculation it was one of his students when he was a younger teacher. So that's the speculation. I don't think nobody knows for sure. There's even question about whether it's his at all. But I think for the most part, people have accepted. Yep, that's his piece. Probably when he was a younger composer. Probably written for a student. So it's just one of his papers, and he never thought enough of it to even publish it. So it's one, but now it's a classic that we all play on piano. So yeah, beautiful piece of music. Linda asked, how much do you do much strumming in claw position? No, because it's a different activity, Linda. So if you're busy in claw, you're doing this. When it comes time to strum, you will either break out of that shape and go down like this, or you can go Segovia and then you'll strum with this, right? So to keep you in claw, claw, claw. That's how Segovia would do it, was just take his index and go down like this, and then, which is kind of fun. I always do. I go ahead and go out of position, do my thumb, because I think some thumb sounds prettier in strumming, and then get back in. And of course you can mix them up, but it's different, you know. The sort of a fake-ish way of strumming is when you take your chord and you're in claw and you kind of do it quickly. It's called the rolled chord. I don't do a lot of that. It's fairly common in classical music to do that instead of a strum. Again, this one of those other tools you can mess around with and see if it sounds good. But when you're in claw position, we typically don't think of that as a strumming position. That is definitely a plucking position. So thanks for that question. Great question. Evelyn, that was fun. See you in the next lesson. I actually enjoy your Uke 1 songs more than your Uke 2 songs. I love my Uke 1 songs. I think that they are the best songs ever. I do. I really do. I don't have anything in this. I have nothing in my books that I don't absolutely adore playing. If I play it for a while, I'm like, I don't know about if I'm excited to teach this or not. I get rid of it. Clear down to Three Blind Mice, Frere Jacques, Simple Gifts, Brahms Lullaby, Yankee Doodle. I love all those songs. So yeah, I think not only do they teach you how to play, but they're just lovely little tunes. So thanks, Evelyn. Good to see you. Thanks. Hard to get back into position. Yeah, it is a little bit, right? And it's a skill you have to practice, because that's one of the things the arpeggios will do, Linda, is you're busy playing here, and then all of a sudden I got to do this. And in other arpeggios, you actually do take your index finger and do this. And it's that business of, all right, I'm going to strum like this for a while, then I'm going to get in this position, do that for a while, then I'm going to do this for a while. It is something that we have to do as instrumental players, is be able to switch from position, from one attack strategy to a different attack strategy. It's why when I go around the internet and I see all these long discussions about what is the strumming pattern for this song or that song, it makes me want to die a little bit, because every song can be approached in lots of different ways. And if there is only one strum pattern for a specific song, what an opportunity wasted. Take any song, take Ode to Joy and try it different ways, you know? just in three measures, I've come up with 6 different ways to play that thing. And then you find your best way. There's no one right way to do anything, I don't think. So that's my opinion. But yeah, it is hard to get back in position. Love these songs. Good. Q. It's such a lovely piece, very soothing and instructive. You guys are not running my decoration around here. We draw the line at interior decoration. All right, kids. Have a wonderful day. I'll see a couple of you in the next level. What are we doing in the next level? The noon class is going to do Beethoven on these two two songs, For Elise and Ode to Joy, and then I put up Adeste Fidelis. What child is this? So come play a little Christmas music with us. All right, guys. Have a wonderful afternoon. I will see all of you later, and I will talk to Donna about hanging up that thing. Okay. Have a great day, you guys. Thanks.